Hello, gentlemen. A pleasure being with
Hello.
you. A pleasure being with you. I want the statue behind Christian. I love that. That looks cool.
Well, in fact, that is a mold of myself, so that way they could figure out the outline for my head to make a cap for my antlers and ears. So that's pretty
Oh,
cool.
that's awesome. Well, as the series is also awesome. It explores so many themes of maturity, of fearing strangers, connecting with people. There are a lot of wonderful themes to be explored here in the series. Beginning with you, Christian, Gus is forced to grow up and be brave and accomplish a lot of things on his own as he and Tommy continue their journey together. When you look at it as yourself, what do you think would be most difficult for you to do as Christian that Gus does on a regular basis?
Um, the only thing that would be tricky for me to do with Gus on a regular basis is attempt to be a deer because me and Gus are similar in basically every possible way. Both love sour candies, both love nature, running around, jumping off walls, and so I feel like that'd be the toughest challenge.
For sure. All that wilderness. I'm a city girl. I don't know if I could do all the weird the wilderness. No, and so for you, what
Mhm.
I enjoy about your character is he has heroic qualities, but sometimes heroism is not as easy as black and white. There's lots of shades of gray of what makes a hero. Is that a fair assessment of him, or how would you
Ab-
describe who he
Absolutely,
is?
absolutely. I think it's we're living in a post-apocalyptic world here where there's no law, there's no government, and any decision you make could result in you being able to eat that day or whether you're going to live to see the next day. So surviving that long for the past 10 years, he's learned that taking on a responsibility like this hybrid kid would be a bad idea and would probably result in trouble for him and the kid. So you can understand that it isn't a natural first choice for him to protect this kid. But there's something in him. There are kind of qualities in him that wants to reach out and look after this boy. You can see cracks of it from the very start, but there's something about Gus's optimism and his hope and his curiosity that starts to really peck at the tough outer shell that Tommy has had to build up in these last 10 years in this dystopian nightmare. And he starts to really poke through that, and the old Tommy Jeopard starts to get revealed as the series goes on.
For sure. Christian, with on the flip side of that maturity, you as a regular person has a different level of maturity than Gus, and that you do know things are out there and you're aware of what happens in the world to a certain extent. Do you think that Gus is able to grow beyond that? He'll grow at a certain pace where he'll become more aware of what's happening in the world, but how would you say his maturity is in terms of what's happening in the world?
I think he thinks that everything is kind of normal and there's no chaotic wars or anything like that. Um, but slowly as the episodes go on, I really think that he starts to learn that the outside world isn't so lush and full of nature and happiness. It's a really dark world where you do have to kill to survive and hunt, and so that's what I'd say.
For sure, definitely. Nonso, the scenery, the landscape is almost like another character in the show. It's beautiful, the sweeping shots. How was that experience for the two of you? Because it's a lot of isolation and there's tons of people who make the magic happen, but we see you two for large stretches of time. How was that experience for the two of you to connect out there in the wild?
It was amazing. New Zealand is it's got a very low population. It's far away from anywhere. It's an island that's split into two, and the North Island is more it's got more people habiting it, and I feel like the southern part of the island is it's almost like a prehistoric, untouched world, and you really see that, and they really capture it really well in the show, and it's just a beautiful place. even the ferns and the trees. There are certain types of trees that I've never seen before, and foliage and fauna that I've never seen before, you know, and it lends so much to what you see. You know, our directors of photography did such a great job in capturing it, the beauty of the land. And you can understand why things like Lord of the Rings got filmed there, because it just gives you this otherworldly quality. And it's something that is really beautiful. And even just to sit in a valley and look up and see these snow-capped mountains, even though it's a hot day, that beauty. I remember standing there and just thinking, I'm so blessed to be able to be here right now, you know.
It's really a beautiful part of the world with really, really beautiful people as well, kind, fun, loving people. Lastly, Christian, if you had to decide, if you had to describe the series and say like 3 words for your friends, how would you describe it?
Thrilling, hopeful, adventure.
I like those 3. That's a great answer. How about for you, Nonso?
Yes.
That's
And
excellent.
you stole my words. I feel like I would say family friendly, adventure, thrill ride. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
I'm loving it. And now it's a good time for me to get a little sweetness in my coffee and indulge my own sweet tooth. I thank you, gentlemen, for your time. This is a beautiful, beautiful series. And I can't wait to see all the discussions around it because it's super duper cool and unique. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you very much.